So in this role, are you playing the role of the government in 1984, or are you playing the role of the people by trying to ban people who are saying
the role of the government?
Okay.
I don't
Someone
care.
in here defined misogyny.
Yeah,
it's getting thrown out a lot. And you said that it was misogynist, saying that I wanted to see what Lav was wearing.
It's a negative bias towards women.
It was misogynistic to say what you want to see because the only you care about Lav was whether or not she looked fuckable. It's cringe.
I want to turn her camera on. I want everybody to have their camera on. I want to be able to
you want to turn her camera on because you want to see if she's fuckable.
Even Aba's ugly ass. I want to see his anime looking wearing camera on. I want everybody to be able to see.
They're racist, right? There are probably a lot of people who do racist things without thinking that they're racist.
Okay, a negative bias towards women. Don't we all have negative biases?
Am I fucking invisible? What's going on?
Most people don't.
No, not inherently. We're just talking about implicit
bias. On this one.
I mean, like, think about the guys that are online. It makes sense that they're all implicitly biased against women.
Okay, hold on. Stop. Hold on. Stop. Wait. Stop. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. We're in real. Wait. No.
Destiny, before you go on a rant.
Hold on. No, I'm not.
Wait. You're trying to ban people from saying I love women, but you can't ban the frustration with women. You can't ban the feeling that people have.
Let him finish talking so I can fucking scream at him. Okay.
We all look at difference with frustration. It's inherent in all of us.
That's great.
We're always gonna be that way.
Okay, stop. Hold on. Stop.
This is the ideas.
Okay, this is adult politics time. Okay, this isn't the Matrix. Okay. That whole bullshit of like the world isn't fair, that might fly on Fresh and Fit, but in the real world, we take actions to make the world a fucking better place. That's why people with type 1 diabetes are rotting in the fucking street, okay? We make medicine for them. So in this community, there are issues, and it's not enough to just say, well, issues happen, so therefore they happen. You say, okay, well, what can we do to rectify it? Because that's what adults do, okay? So if there's misogyny in my community, or there's some underlying frustration, that's fine, but we deal with it like adults, like the best way that we can, so we try to get rid of the way that frustration comes out as much as possible. That's what's happening here. It's not enough to just say, well, sometimes people are frustrated. That's fine. Don't take it out here. It's not my fucking problem, and it's not any woman in my community's fucking problem what your personal frustrations are with women, okay? That's my issue.
And that's why
what happens to people who are not able to express those opinions? Those people who are frustrated with women or frustrated with men, the same thing femcells, if they keep getting banned for having those ideas, what happens? You're trying to get it out of your community. Where do those feelings go?
I'm not you personally, but I'm not the therapist for any of these people. I'm not here, and more importantly, the women in my community are not here to help you work through your problems with women. That's not what my community exists for, and that's not what any fucking woman anywhere in the world wants to exist as a personal therapist for some guy that listened to too much Andrew Tate or whatever, and now thinks that women are out to get him all over the fucking world.
It's talking about therapy. It's just being able to make jokes about things.
You're asking for therapy. You're asking.
I was just about to say that's what makes erudite so valuable.
I don't care. Then go do it in erudites community. That's not what I'm fucking here for, and that's not what the women in my community are here for. Okay? If you've got problems to
therapy, Destiny.
What?
Making jokes saying I love women is therapy to you?
No, it would be like every single time you say something stupid, I say like, he's Haitian. What are you gonna do? If an entire community of people said that over and over again, at some point it starts to feel kind of shitty. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean by that? Right? Like that's what I want to avoid people feeling like, especially women, because there's a reason why there's like 3% women in all these fucking spaces. So it's fucked.
Yeah,
well, people won't keep saying that over and over again. They'll look at what you're saying.
Aba on this, because Aba was saying, look, I understand that it feels like it feels like I am invalidating anybody else's opinion on what is misogyny, but I would say in the same sense that you wouldn't ask a bunch of people who are practicing racism whether they think they're practicing racism. Obviously, they don't think they are. Right? Most of the time they don't.
I would. And a perfect example of this is I remember when the maggot word was really popular. People sometimes just assumed or ascribed to some level of homosexual or whatever. But the reality is when you use it in the gaming space or you're just doing that with your friends, you weren't necessarily ascribing that. Now it can still make gay people feel incredibly uncomfortable, but there's a complete difference between an innate hatred of that group and you saying it in a context where you just think it's flippant or funny or whatever it might be. So I think those two distinct reasons for doing it really matter in this discussion, and without talking to them, you won't understand that. So that's what
I agree. I don't think that people in my community hate women. I don't think the people that say like, "Oh, she makes me love women." I don't think they hate women. They're just they're engaging in forms of humor, and they have types of jokes, but they're otherizing.
Police comedy.
They're first of all, yeah, of course I can police comedy. If somebody comes to my community and thinks it's funny to spam the N-word, I'd probably police that. Yes, we can police comedy. It's fine.
So what is your community about then? You're saying your community is really anti-misogyny and everything. What is the mission of your community?
I just want my community to feel inclusive to more types of people, and women, I think, are a cool thing to have in a community.
You are literally excluding people by banning people who are saying I love what you're excluding comedy.
Yeah,
I can exclude certain types of there are certain types of comedies that I can exclude to increase my audience, of course.
Sneako, there's plenty of comedy clubs will hire you to do any kind of joke. If you just get up on there and say the N-word a bunch of times during your bit as a white dude, calling all the people like Kramer did.
Kramer, yeah.
Even if you call it comedy, I'm still.
It was pretty funny, but
because we not rocking with that, and you understand that. There's no comedy club. If Nick Fuentes came up and started calling half the crowd,
you guys are equating it to something. It's not the same thing. I love women is clearly a joke. That's the irony.
Sneako, but it makes people. The
problem. N-word is a direct slur. I love women is being ironic.
Hold on, wait, real quick. The reason why things like the reason why things like the N-word suck is because it's the clearest fucking way to show you that you don't belong in an area. It is one immediately fast word to say you're different.
I'm not talking about the N-word.
I'm not either. I'm just saying in general. There are certain types of comedies, there's certain types of humors where you make them over and over again. You make certain people feel like this is not a space for me. I want women to feel like they have a space on my stream. And it's really easy. There's a million fucking things to joke about by saying, hey, just don't shit on women or be weird about women. We can joke about anything else. It makes the community better. Because why the fuck wouldn't you want to be in a community with more fucking women? Why would you not want that?
Because we actually God damn it, can I go? Can the Irish guy go?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So, Sneako, I want to point this out to you real quick because it's actually something I learned a few years ago about irony. So, like, nowadays, Zoomers are so fucking irony poisoned that there's, like, meta-irony and post-irony. So, basically what happened is irony used to, for millennials like myself, it literally just used to be sarcasm. So you were saying something ironically just to say the opposite, right?
I love women.
Right. So what meta-irony does is it basically goes back to the sincere thing. This is something that Nick Fuentes actually pioneered with basically him talking about the Jews and shit, is he was saying, oh no, we love Israel, we love the Jews, we love all of them all the time and all that kind of stuff in order to get back to the original point. And then post-irony is the shit that J-Reg, for those of you who are familiar, that's what he does, where you have no idea what the fuck he means because he's just being like irony poisoned the entire time. So my point to you is just that just because it's ironic, just because it's a fucking joke, doesn't mean that there isn't an undercurrent. So for instance, like plenty of people that I was hanging out with in the like 2016s or whatever, I would join in with the racist jokes because I love a good fucking racist joke. But the truth is, I was saying a racist joke because I was saying that racism was fucked up. They were saying a racist joke because they think black people are inferior to fucking white people genetically. So there's two fucking different reasons for why these people are enjoying these jokes.
Right, but you can't ban the feeling. That's the problem with you trying to ban.
I'm with you.
No, you can't. That's true. You can't ban the feeling, but when you change,
you're trying to get it out of your community, but that's all it does is foster more of those types of people.
When you change the type of, when you change,
the more you ban that, the more they.
I'm not trying to ban people and they don't get pent up. The reality is the humor that you partake in will shape the ideas that you have, okay? There's a really good book, 1984. This is the central point of the book, is the idea that words dictate thoughts. And when you make the same kinds of jokes over and over again, people will start to think certain things. If you go into certain communities and you find people that make the same types of anti-Indian jokes, the same type of anti-black jokes over and over and over again, you'll start to feel that way. And if you stop making those types of jokes, you'll also probably start to feel a certain way. That's it. And also, being around certain types of people that are now willing to be in your community because everybody's not making those types of jokes will also make people feel a certain type of way.
So in this role, are you playing the role of the government in 1984, or are you playing the role of the people by trying to ban people who are saying
the role of the government?
Okay.
Yes. Right. Yeah, and like, I don't think the motivation is actually even that important, right? Like, the simple fact is if you're trying to make a community that's, like, more comfortable for women to be in, if I'm a woman and I see, 1,000 people doing the I love women joke, regardless of what their motivation
is. Fun fact,
I'm keeping the fact.
Anybody that says that 1984 was about government surveillance has never read the book, or they were 2 years old when they read it, okay? That is not what 1984 was about. It had little or nothing to do with fucking government surveillance, okay? What a dumb stop.
That's what it's going to make you feel like, anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. The conversation about, like, whether or not there's misogyny in your community, I don't feel there is. You probably have a better read on what gets posted on the Reddit. I feel like it might be... I feel like I don't see that representation, but yeah, I agree with the idea of like banning the joke just for the simple fact that it's like,
yeah, Sneako, and I get your repulsion to like cultural motifs coming from like a higher place or whatever, but the truth is that this is the way that culture has always worked. There's always been gatekeepers and authority figures who have always been preaching the messages to us. So then it just becomes a question of who's in power, what's the message being preached, is that good or is that bad?
You guys are okay with Destiny being the overlord?
It's my community, of course.
In its own community. Yeah, absolutely. You should be in your own community. In your own community, you are the only god that matters. You and your moderators, and you actively decide. Absolutely, you decide the landscape.
Crazy.
Hold on. So
Is a man not a king in his own
I'm actually curious.
It's not a democracy when it's a community.
I want to ask Sneako, if you were running your own community, what's some of the type of things that you would not allow in terms of your people saying constantly?
Well, before I was banned, I allowed pretty much everything. I allowed my chat. I didn't have any restrictions. I didn't even have slow mode on. It was just full schizo spam all day long. The only thing that I started removing, or like at one point, because I had like a big incel audience, were like, yo, I'm going to be honest. Some people in the chat were saying Elliot Rodgers was right. And I'm like, okay. I had to pause the stream. I'm like, yo, you guys cannot do this here. This is gonna look bad on me because I'm gonna go to jail if you guys end up in a GameStop.
You can't ban a feeling, Sneako.
So this is
why are you banning feelings? So I'm actually curious.
This is the interesting nuance of like the free speech argument, right? Is like, yeah, you want to be able to like contend with certain ideas, right? For example, like Destiny doesn't deplatform people. He'll always talk to people who even are incels and debate with them. The issue is that like when you have an unfettered free speech base like yours, you start getting into like people like just feeling comfortable to say like really noxious, like uncomfortable things, which is why like I try to argue like we don't really know how to do online community well. We're kind of still making shit up as it goes. For example, in my community, I don't moderate these people, but I have people that I've set up who moderate and watch for these things, and then they verbally they talk to these people and fight with them and make them feel embarrassed for saying stupid shit. That's what they do.
They fucked up all the time. And yeah, you're right. You can't ban a feeling, but I could also remove things that are going to get me in trouble with the government. So if someone like that ends up at a GameStop with an AR and they look through their search history, they see my stream, then I'm getting in trouble.
Okay.
That's what happens. I just do that. Anything that I censor in my stream or anything that I censor in my community is just stuff to prevent me from going to jail.
Okay. So let me ask you: if someone's in your community, they're festering in there, they're around a bunch of people who say they love Elliot Rodgers, it's not going to get you in trouble. The government's already sent you a letter saying they will never come after you for this. You can keep that kind of rhetoric going. If this person's festering in your community, they're talking to other people, and eventually they go out and shoot other people. Okay, right? They've been spending time, they've been finding like-minded minds. Do you feel any type of way or any kind of responsibility for that?
No, because when they started talking about that, I'm like, you're a weirdo. You should not be talking about this. I don't know why you're obsessing over a serial killer. You guys are straight up weirdos. I'll call that out. I'll be honest about my opinion. And I've never talked about him once in a positive light. So no, I would not show any remorse. I would not feel bad about that. That's a stupid thing. And now that online communities have done, you saw that even when Ye talked about the small hat people. There were Nazis on the freeway in Los Angeles with the sign that said the Jews. Kanye was right about the Jews, and then I got in a debate with somebody. He's like, he's responsible for fostering this idea about Judaism, and you should not hold responsibility for how everybody else takes your words. So even if I'm like the champion of incels or whatever the fuck, if they do some crazy shit, it's not my responsibility because I'm vocal about what I think about all these things. I'm not telling anybody to go on the freeway with the swastika.
Yo, but this is some libertarian ANCAP shit. What about
you hold people somewhat responsible for the words that they say. This is why we have like major political movers. Like nobody would say that MLK isn't responsible for like major movements in the civil movement just because he used words. Like we would of course attribute positive things to people's words. So why wouldn't we attribute negative things?
You have to look at intention. So that was MLK's intention.
What if fans of yours were posting? What if there was like a subreddit for fans of yours and they were posting child porn in there? Would you police them then? Would you ban them then? Would you say you're not a part of my community?
Well, the subreddit would not allow that.
No. Answer the question. Let's just say that we're at 4chan, 8chan. Okay, 4chan, 8chan. Some deep web, dark web shit. There's a fan website, and they're posting in your fan website saying that this Sneako fucking loves this shit. He won't admit it, but he fucking loves this shit. Are you gonna say not in my name? Fuck you. You're not part of my community.
Differences. I think a little bit of misogyny is fine, but CP is always bad.
and that's an okay answer, but I'm asking if you would take action in saying this has nothing to do with me. Fuck these people. They're not a part of my community.
Yeah, I would say that. I CP's
okay.
That's terrible for people. But you cannot equate lines. I see what you're saying, but I don't think you can equate CP to misogyny because misogyny, it sounds bad in this community of Destiny people, the orbiters and everything. Like they don't like these words.
Oh, there you go.
This should be policed. But it all comes to the same place. Look, Stardust is in the same place talking about how she wants to make jokes about how men should be deported. I get it. We hate each other. But it's love. It's based in a feeling of love. We love to hate each other. And that's a good thing. And if we are not allowed to express that, then we get all weird and autistic and
Okay, I'm with you that the Overton window is way too fucking narrow, but I just wanted to point out to you that there are rules and laws that even you would step in for. That's all I was trying to make a point about.
Well, he's worried about self-preservation. The question I would have is like, let's say you've got these people that are saying Elliot Rodger was right or whatever, right? And you're like, hey guys, I personally think that's really fucked up and I disagree with it. But you refuse to take any action to like cull that behavior in your community. And suddenly, you know, let's say that there's a phenomenon where suddenly word gets out that saying Elliot Rodger and showing support for Elliot Rodger is acceptable in your Discord server, whatever it is, in your community. Discord's not going to do anything about it. The government's not going to do anything about it. But suddenly you've got this influx of people who are Elliot Rodger sympathizers, and they come to your community because they've heard that it's a place that will harbor that activity where nowhere else will. Do you feel no responsibility to restrict that behavior if suddenly you have like this new cult of Elliot Rodger just like,
no, and I did, and I
backyard?
called that out. My problem is that Destiny is equating saying I love women, and even your argument here, you're comparing saying I love women as if you can't have frustration towards the other gender.
Okay,
the dating market sucks.
Listen, he's right in that they're not just saying I love women. They're saying something else behind that, which is that I think this person is fucking retarded, and I like me
Mostly because they're a woman.
Well. So the read on I have on that is different, which is like they just like they're not necessarily that they're actually worried, but now that there's a trope in saying that like if I criticize this person, I will be accused of misogyny, even if it like this person's just saying silly thing.
I think.
Right.
What if? I think that the Elliot Rodgers thing is a little bit too hyperbolic of an example. What if your community, out of nowhere, you just started like fostering this like simp community, and everyone in your community was like, women are my goddesses, they can sleep with whoever they want, and I don't get to fuck anyone, I have my cock in a cage all day. And then people started to look at your community as those sort of people. You'd be like, I don't really fuck with this, I'm gonna make sure that these people are not representative of my community.
W loves, yeah, that's why I fuck with you. That's what they're encouraging, and that's what Twitch has become. It's just a place for Sims to thrive. So when Destiny keeps saying like you need to police misogyny,
what he's doing is he's setting a standard for his community because that's not his values, right? So it makes sense that you don't understand it because that's not your values. But if Steven isn't a misogynist, it would make sense that he doesn't want that in his community. That's why he's banning it, is because he doesn't
misogynist. If he is a misogynist. We're all misogynist. If you spend time talking to women and dating women and fucking women, you are inherently a little bit of a misogynist.
Whoa. Oh, Sneako. No, Destiny. Can you respond to that? Destiny, are you a misogynist?
Are you a little misogynist?
That's like asking if you're a little racist. The point isn't whether or not I am a misogynist or I am racist. The point is, do I actively take steps to try to curb the behavior or the thoughts? And the answer to that is yes, of course. I'm sure we've all got problems when I'm working on it. That's not an excuse for me to not like encourage my community to be the ideal that I want to be.
That's a great point. So you are a little bit racist, you are a little bit misogynist, but being able to joke about it and talk about it with other people is a proper way to curb those negative thoughts.
No, that's not called curbing anything. That's encouraging it.
No, being able to joke about it and talk about it is the best way to get those feelings out there.
Hold on, I just want to get this on the record. If I have one community that's allowed to make misogynistic jokes and another community that doesn't make misogynistic jokes, which community is more likely to be misogynistic? You're committed to one answer, but I just want to hear it.
I was reading the chat. I don't remember what you said.
If one community is allowed to make you go to a community and it's filled with misogynistic jokes. You go to another community, there's no misogynistic jokes. Which community is more likely to be misogynistic?
The first one.
That is making misogynistic jokes?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Then that's not the community I want.
Okay, but you need a little bit of it to balance out the world.
Yeah,
so right
you
now,
might be able to have a little bit of it. I agree. You're making an argument. Stop. I agree with you. You need a little bit of it. That's fine. I allow a little bit of racial humor in my chat because I don't think that my community like hates black people, any weird shit like that. I don't see weird stuff like that. So it's okay. But if my community started to get really weird, like if Aba came on and he started to make some bad arguments and people were like, man, this is what people from Detroit are like, or I don't know, some weird shit like that. If I started to see that showing up in my chat a lot, I'd be like, okay, hold on. Or if Aba started to say some dumb shit and people were like, bro, stick to rapping, I'd be like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah,
or if Aba came in and people started to say like, pull up your pants, what's going on? I'd be like, what the fuck? Or if Aba came to my chat and people started to say,
like, yo, Aba's really like friendly to white people, like
yeah,
that.
Exactly. No, but if people started to say weird shit like that all the time, they'd be like, okay, hold on, we're gonna cut back on racial humor because something is obviously like not okay here. I'm not gonna do this.
Hold on, Sneako, can I fuck with this real quick?
All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.